built in 1785, 7 years before the city of Raleigh was established, about a mile from here. This was the land of Joel Lane. We believe when Joel's oldest son turned 21, the 2,000 acres was given to him. His name was Henry Lane. Henry built the house that's behind me. Now, the house that he built didn't look like the house that is today. Anything past this porch was not part of the original house. This was the front porch of the house. So there were 2 rooms behind me, 2 rooms in the attic. The front door was where the window is today, so the center of our steps right here. Henry Lane's family lived in this home for 5 generations until 1964. 3 name changes, but the same family, the same descendants living here in this house. And that's important for several things. When the family changed things around, they didn't change so much. It was their family home, so you get to see the old family home with the new family home with the changes they made. Plus, they never moved out. They never moved anything out. And the last descendant to live here never married. When he was in his 80s, he wanted to move into a nursing home, and he had all this stuff with the house. So when he sold the house, he's like, oh, by the way, I got all the stuff, you want it too. And he sold all the stuff to the city as well. So we have a house full of things that belong to this family, which is really, really unusual for a plantation home to actually have the original stuff that belonged to the family. So we're pretty fortunate to have all that. Now, the second generation of the family added onto the house 41 years after it was originally built in 1826. And when they did, the city of Raleigh was established that way. So they moved the front of the house to face the city of Raleigh. So they were wealthier at this time. In 1826, the second generation, Henry, who built the house, actually died in debt, so he wasn't a very good money manager. But his descendants did quite well, and they added onto their house. And like I said, they wanted it to face the city of Raleigh, so when the guests are coming, they're coming to the front of the house. And they wanted that a little bit wealthy looking, right, for their guests when they came up. So they wanted a really nice facade to their home, and that's what they built. The yellow color, again, is what we think. It was painted this color, and we believe it was because of the wealth factor. It took more money to get yellow paint than it did to get white paint. So as people are coming up to the house, number 1, it's a very nice facade to the house. Number 2, it's yellow, and they're thinking money, right? And that's what they wanted to portray, is that this was a family with money. They had always been a plantation family because they were born into it. Joel Lane had a plantation. Henry Lane's wife, Polly Hinton's, her family had a plantation. So they were automatically plantation families in that highest society, but they didn't always have the money to go with it. By this time, they had the money to go with it. Now, this entrance was only for invited guests, which would have only been part of that planter class. Anybody below that, I don't care how much money you have, if you're not part of that planter class, you weren't coming in this house. You weren't invited. They were very exclusive that way. So the front doors were specifically for that class of people. Everybody else would have to go around the corner to the side door. So behind me used to be an open porch. No roof, no walls, just a porch. And this was the entrance not only for anybody who was not invited, but also for all the enslaved workers who were on the property working. Even before it was a plantation, there were always enslaved people working here until the end of the Civil War. So, the addition, this little room was added with the rest of the house, and the little room right over here was added in 1826 with the rest of the house. In the middle was that open porch area.